No, we're live.
Okay. Hello, everyone, and welcome. Thank you for coming to our very special fifth edition of Nomadic Seeds, which is today dedicated to what is happening to Colombia and especially our Colombian friends. Today we collaborate with the Mesa Usmeka from Usme in Bogota. And before I tell you a bit the structure of our meeting today, it's important to let you know that this session is getting recorded and streamed live. So if you don't want to be seen, you don't have to be seen. You can just switch off your camera. And so you will be not visible. So I invite you right now. Now Daniela is coming. Perfect. I invite you right now to switch off your camera if you don't want to be seen on this live stream and also not being recorded. We record it to reach more people because the topics our session is dealing about is very important and very urgent because it's obviously a very difficult situation in Colombia right now, and we try to help to create more awareness for the situation, especially also in Europe. While the media in Colombia itself is not giving, is controlled and not letting out every detailed information what is really happening. We wanted to invite our friends today to let them speak, to invite other people, other protesters to express their point of views, their experiences. And now I will share the screen with you. And invite you and say a big welcome to Planting Resistance. This today is a collaboration between us, Nomadic Seeds, and the Mesa Usmeka in Bogota, in Colombia. The Mesa Usmeka is a communitarian initiative, a community of activists. We have today as guests Carolina, Jaime, and Harold, and they are working in Usme mostly with farmers and also about indigenous knowledge, as they work with an old settlement of the Muisca, which is an heritage of an ancestral heritage. And they create in their work with different communities awareness for what was left by ancestors and ancestral knowledge. And now they live through a very special situation as during the protests. And they will express to you better now what is going on in Colombia. Just shortly about Nomadic Seeds, because today it is a very special edition. Mainly, we meet every month on the second Saturday as people from all over the world to exchange knowledge about healing plants and to find strategies that are non-pharmaceutical or non-governmentally to find strategies to heal ourselves, but most of all also nature, communities, and try to care for each other. So, and now I give the word to Carolina, and who will tell us a bit more about the situation, the urgent situation in Colombia.
Thank you, Mara. Hi to everybody. I want to thank you. I want to thank to the Nomadic Seeds Collective and to the Roma Bienal team and each person who is joining us today. I want to say that we are going to make our speak intervention in Spanish mostly because that's the language that we were taught to speak, teach to speak. So to start, we are going to speak about the situation here in Colombia. And I want to read a text I wrote in Spanish. So I hope you can understand many of the things, or our mates that are here can help us to translate it better. So I'm going to start. Nos cansamos. Tenemos el cuerpo, el espíritu y el alma cansados. Nos cansamos de contar muertos y de que sus nombres se pierdan en las cifras. De que nuestros familiares y amigos desaparezcan para nunca más ser vistos. Del racismo y del machismo enraizado y enconado en nuestras cotidianidades. Nos cansamos de vivir una vida en la que todo debe ser luchado, incluso el derecho a la vida misma. Una vida en la que debemos dejar piel, carne y huesos para bordear un poquito las cerradas fronteras de lo digno. Nos cansamos de la impunidad, de las instituciones corruptas e indolentes, de un Estado que la única oportunidad que le brinda a sus jóvenes es ser parte de un ejército. Ejército que después deberá apuntar sus armas hacia sus amigos del barrio y de la vereda, hacia sus vecinos. Nos cansamos de los discursos que nos dividen y profundizan las heridas ancestrales que cargamos, de la indolencia de quien ante un joven herido le exige que deje de llorar por un solo ojo. Nos cansamos de un gobierno que hace llover glifosato sobre nuestros campos, que encarcela y victimiza a quienes cultivan plantas sagradas estigmatizadas, pero premia y compadece a la élite narcotraficante. Por eso y por muchas cosas más, paramos. El 28 de abril iniciamos el paro nacional, un paro que inició por la reforma tributaria propuesta por el gobierno, pero que de fondo es la continuidad de un acumulado de sentires y acciones que se vienen gestando desde hace años y que en el 2019 estallaron. Hoy, un mes después de habernos parado, en Colombia, de acuerdo con los datos recopilados por Temblores ONG, tenemos 3.400 casos de violencia policial, 43 personas víctimas de homicidio, varios de ellos por acciones policiales, 47 víctimas de agresión en sus ojos y 22 víctimas de violencia sexual. El Valle del Cauca es quien hoy más personas extraña y llora. El Valle del Cauca, una tierra llena de cañaduzales que hoy saben amar. Cumplimos un mes en paro y el gobierno aún no se compromete a resolver las peticiones más urgentes de la movilización. La Fundación Paz y Reconciliación señaló algunas de ellas. La primera, la reforma a la policía y el desmonte del SMAT. La segunda, renta básica para las personas más afectadas por el COVID-19. La tercera, suspensión de la erradicación forzada de cultivos ilícitos y aspersiones aéreas de glifosato. La cuarta, medidas efectivas para proteger la vida de líderes y lideresas sociales y de excombatientes. La quinta, la apertura de espacios de diálogo con sectores sociales que no nos vemos representados en las demandas del Comité Nacional del Paro. I want to read a piece of this statement in English. I hope it could be understand for all of you. I don't speak English quite well, but I hope you all can understand. And once again, I ask for help of my friends who speak both English and Spanish to help me to translate what I just said. We got tired. Our body, spirit, and soul are tired. We got tired of counting the dead and their names getting lost into numbers. We got tired of our family and friends disappearing to never be seen again. We got tired of racism. We got tired of living a life in which everything is a struggle, everything must be fought, even the right to life itself. A life in which we must leave skin, flesh, and bones to skirt a little the close borders of being worthy. We got tired of impunity, of corrupt and indolent institutions. We got tired of a state that the only opportunity that gives to young people is to be part of an army that will aim its weapons at its friends in the neighborhood and in the town, at his family. Right now in Colombia, we are counting more than 3,000 cases of police violence. We are counting 50 people who's been killed by police force. Yeah, and many of the requirements that we have hasn't been listened by the government. So we keep the strike, and we are going to keep fighting for our right to live a worthy, a dignity life. I think we can proceed with our friends who are going to speak about the situation in different places from Colombia.
Thank you so much, Carolina. Yes, now there will be some voices that were collected by Carolina and Jaime and Harold, and or invited. We have today as guests also Enya Pabon from Cali and John Jairo Osorio from Kimbasha. And instead of Diego Bram, we have David. Sorry, Beltran as guest right now, and I don't know who wants to start now. Carolina, do you know?
Oh, I can do it if you want it.
Okay, is this Enya?
Yes, my name is Enya. Before to start, I have to ask if you can understand me clearly with the mask, or if you prefer that I can take off the mask and speak without the mask. And turn off the camera, of course.
I think we understand you, but if there is one, yes, we understand. Yeah. Thank you, Andres.
Okay, perfect. Well, I'm part of the collective La Dignidad, which has transformed what was once a police station into a public library. I have to say that I don't know how exactly works the simultaneous translation. I have. I haven't been ever in an event like this, so if you want it, Daniela, I can talk, and after that you can talk after me, because I'm going to do my speech in Spanish.
Do you want me to translate in the chat while you speak?
Or you can talk after me if you want it.
Yeah, I can try to type if you make some pause, and then it's easier for everybody. If you don't mind my mistakes when I type.
Okay, perfect.
If it gets too quick, okay?
Okay. Okay. Quiero contarles la historia de un país cementerio, país de madres, país de olvido, país que clama por significados nuevos en sus parques, en sus esquinas y en sus calles. Crecí en el distrito de Agua Blanca, en Cali. Un rincón donde los barrios fueron marginados y olvidados junto con los que vivimos ahí. Los sin memoria.
Enya, ¿puedes hablar más despacio, por favor? Yo no soy buena en esto. Pues,
Okay, I will try to do it.
Al cementerio yo voy a intentar ser más rápido. Gracias.
Ok. País de madres. País olvido. Un país que clama por significados nuevos en sus parques. A country that claims for new beginnings in your parks, streets, and corners. Crecí en el distrito de Agua Blanca, en Cali. Un rincón donde los barrios fueron marginados y olvidados. Junto con los que ahí vivimos. Los sin memoria. Hablo del distrito porque asumo que visto desde afuera es fácil preguntarse por qué ahora. ¿Qué lo causó? Y si ya quitamos 2 reformas, ¿qué seguimos esperando? Pues bien, en la sucursal del cielo, vivir es un cuento.
I will help you to translate. Living in the sucursal del cielo is an entire story.
Ok. Y en Agua Blanca lo era mucho más.
And in Agua Blanca, even more.
Digo era porque ya no estoy ahí.
I say was because I am not there anymore.
Y no porque lo que les cuento ya no esté pasando.
And not because what I am going to tell you is not happening anymore.
En todo caso,
Anyway,
ninguno de nosotros tenía fondos suficientes para ir a la universidad.
any of us have enough money to go into school.
Para nuestros padres, la educación secundaria era un privilegio.
To our mothers and fathers, school was a privilege.
Ninguno de nosotros tuvo un servicio digno de salud.
None of us have a health service enough for our requirements.
Los tratamientos costosos siempre se reservaron para los que vivían fuera del olvido.
Expensive treatments always was saving for the ones who live out of this oblivion, forgotten.
Ninguno tenía bibliotecas.
None of us have libraries
Ni teatros,
or theaters,
Y ninguno almorzaba carne más de 3 días seguidos.
and none of us eat meat more than 3 days in a week.
Ninguno se sorprendió cuando un muerto nuevo empezó a aparecer cada semana.
Nobody got surprised when a new dead person appeared in the park every week.
En el caño, en la tienda o en la esquina.
In the river, in the store, or in the corner.
Ninguno se incomodó cuando ya no supieron diferenciar
None of us got uncomfortable when they couldn't make the difference
entre si la sangre frente a la carnicería era de una res o de un conocido.
when they didn't know how to make a difference if the blood in the street was from a cow or from a person.
Yo también jugué rayuela sobre la acera manchada con sangre.
I also play rayuela over the street, or over the bloodish street.
Nadie que viviera allí pensó alguna vez que las calles no tenían por qué ser cementerio.
Nobody there think that the streets didn't have to be a cemetery.
Y que los ríos no llevan sangre.
And that the rivers, they run water, not blood.
El 21 de noviembre del 2020 fue mi cumpleaños número 21.
Last November 21 was my 21st birthday.
Me gasearon por horas.
¿Sabes cómo traducir eso?
I've been gassed for many hours. But it was the start that what now is an historical fact. In my neighborhood, what before was called Puerto Rellena, started called Puerto Resistance. And a time after that, the letrero,
Sign?
yeah, the sign in the bus changed to include the new name. In that time, we didn't know, but we was starting to rename Cali, which is my city. I remembered how it feels that night, the country, how all of us have the license to kill each other. I heard disparos.
Shots?
I heard shots, sirenas.
Hearing?
Well, and one man maybe screamed. And after that, nothing. The calm that precedes to the rain. The next day, all of us, we was enterrando
Burying?
to our deaths. Cried for all disappeared people. And one or two, maybe they was in the river. Antecedente.
President?
Con este antecedente, we can't maybe think that we know how to expect in the 28th of April, but we are not even close. I opened the eyes the 7 a.m. that day, and immediately I read in the newspaper that Sebastián de Belalcázar, conquistador y genocida,
Genocide?
that was in the city, the monument that was in the city since 1937 has been derrumbada.
Taken down.
For the people of the Misak pueblo, the pueblo Misak.
Indigenous community.
Yeah, so the notice was in all the newspapers and social media. On the 28th of April of 2021, more than 4 years after Cali claimed for liberty. And we demand new symbols. We wake up. A few days after that, so many points in the city was like blinded. The people sacó a la policía de los CAIs.
People take out polices from the police stations.
Los caleños estaban en las calles.
People from Cali were in the streets.
But I've never listened before of a revolution that don't come with that violence, and Cali was not the exception. So the people was hungry, and they saquearon, robaron.
They stole.
They stole the supermarkets, and they burned the banks that les habían quitado dinero.
The banks that taken money from them. That, yeah, I think.
Destruyeron cada fotomulta en la ciudad.
They destroyed cameras in the town. Sorry.
Yes, and hasta que pareció que nunca hubieran existido.
Until it looks like it never existed in the town.
Incendiaron buses. They burned they burned the buses and public transport stations. This is just the beginning. I read one time in a graffiti. I don't know how to say.
Yes, graffiti.
Closer that lo que antes era un banco.
What was before a bank?
Sí. ¿Cuánta verdad? How many truths? Ya nadie quería ser olvidado.
Nobody wants to be forgotten.
Todo se tornó agridulce.
Everything turns bittersweet.
Seguían habiendo muertos, pero ya no había mucha ley.
There were many deaths, but not law.
El 9 de mayo mataron a Nicolás Guerrero.
May 9th, Nicolás Guerrero was killed.
Un artista de la ciudad.
A citizen artist.
Flexer para los que lo conocían.
With a nickname called Flexer.
Flex para los amigos.
Flex for the friends.
Tenía apenas 21 años.
He had 21 years.
Y nadie sabe quién disparó la bala.
And nobody knows who shot the bullet.
Aún tengo presente la mañana que siguió a ello.
I still have in my mind the morning that was next to it.
Me fui a la calle 15 en el centro para comprar pintura.
I bought paints in the center of the town.
To white paint.
Todo el que se proclame grafitero en Cali ha firmado la pared de ese local.
Everyone who is a graffiti artist in Cali knows where it's located, that wall where we painted that graffiti.
Cuando llegué al lugar y durante los 5 minutos que pasé ahí,
When I arrived to the place and last 5 minutes there,
vi como doña Diana y su esposo buscaban en la pared, entre un revoltijo de firmas y manchones, la firma de su puño y letra.
I saw how Nicolás Guerrero, father and mother, were looking into many paints,
Signs.
the sign of his son, of their son.
The sign of Nicolás Guerrero started to change, to turn into a symbol of resistance. But that people nunca quiso,
Never wanted.
they never wanted to be a symbol, and they never wanted to be that. Para el 9 de mayo era casi imposible no toparse con la firma de Flex en las calles.
From then, in every street was his sign in all or in every street.
La habían replicado en cada rincón.
It had become a symbol of resistance,
Como si fuera alguna especie de santo al que empezamos a rezarle.
like he was a kind of saint that we started to pray.
En memoria a su nombre, también se levantó la biblioteca Nicolás Guerrero.
In his memory was named the library Nicolás Guerrero,
Muy cerca al lugar donde le dispararon.
pretty near to the place he was shot.
En lo que antes era una estación de policía.
In the place that before was a police station.
La mamá de Nicolás ayudó a crearla.
His mother helped to create that library.
Y también ella tuvo que ver cómo el 20 de mayo la policía
And she had to see how the police in May 20
tomó el lugar por la fuerza, disparando.
take the place using violence and guns.
El 9 de mayo también fue el día en que llegué a la Biblioteca Popular La Dignidad.
May 9th was the day I also arrived to the library named La Dignidad,
Otra estación de policía que se volvió biblioteca.
another police station who became library. That became library.
Que había entrado en funcionamiento solo 8 días antes.
Who that started to work just 8 days before.
Producto de la conversación de un grupo de amigos que entre broma y broma hicieron un lugar para el arte entre tanta bala.
As a project of a group of friends who wanted to make art amidst all of this violence.
Desde ese día, la biblioteca me envolvió y el colectivo La Dignidad se volvió mi familia.
Since that day, La Dignidad Library took me and became part of my family.
Desde allí, comencé a vivir el paro desde un montón de dualidades.
From there, I started to live the strike between many things that I never imagined.
A lot of difference que jamás me imaginé.
Difference that I never imagined.
Son días tan diversos como largos.
The days are getting long and different.
El 10 de mayo pintaba un mural con personas en la calle Quinta.
May 10th, I was painting a mural with a group of people in 5th Street.
Era de color amarillo brillante y decía bienvenidos a la Loma de la Dignidad.
It was from a bright yellow and said, welcome to Dignity, welcome to Dignity Mountain.
Este mural le daba un nuevo nombre a lo que antes era la Loma de la Cruz.
Giving it a new name to what before was named Loma de la Cruz.
Tan solo horas después de estar pintando, la policía llegó a unos metros de distancia.
A few hours after we were there painting, the police arrived.
Se bajaron de su moto,
They get down from their
cycle,
motorcycles, yeah,
y golpearon a uno de los integrantes de la primera línea,
and they beat one of the members from the first line
hasta hacerlo sangrar
till he bled
y dejarlo inmóvil.
and stay immobilized.
Without move. Hicieron 2 tiros al aire y se lo llevaron.
They make 2 shots into the air and took our friend.
No tenían placa ni número de identificación.
They were not identified.
Y nosotros
And us,
tomamos aire,
we just took some air for 5 minutes
y seguimos pintando el mural.
and keep painting the mural.
Es increíble ver cómo en las tardes la biblioteca se llena de color.
It is incredible how to see how in the noons the library gets full of color.
De niños que se sientan a ver títeres,
Of childs who sits to watch puppets,
a recitar poesía,
to read poetry,
mientras sus padres tratan de explicarles con emoción
while their parents try to explain them
que ahora los libros ocupan el lugar que antes ocupaban los policías.
that now books have the place that before was occupied by police.
Todo esto, pese a que esos mismos días en la mañana,
All of these, even when in those days in the morning,
desconocidos se paran frente a la biblioteca
unknown get in front of the library,
y gritan que hay que quemarla.
screaming and yelling that this library has to be burned,
Que la policía tiene que volver.
that police has to come back.
La misma mañana en la que al llegar nos damos cuenta
The same morning that we realized
cuando llegamos que alguien vino en la noche a romper nuestros carteles.
that somebody else came in the night and break our signs,
Dañar nuestros cables y destrozar todo.
destroy everything.
He visto a mis compañeros levantarse muy temprano para ir a la biblioteca a pintar, leer y actuar.
I saw my mates from the collective to get up really early in the morning into the library to paint, read, and act.
sin más recompensa que las palabras de aliento de algún visitante.
I researched some women.
With no other reward than the words of somebody else.
Mientras en las noches somos perseguidos por autos desconocidos entre las cuadras oscuras del barrio.
Meanwhile, in the nights, we are chased by unknown cars that move between the blocks of San Antonio's neighborhood.
Preguntándonos cosas como ¿de dónde va a salir el dinero para la renta de este mes?
And we're still asking to ourselves what is going to come from the money to pay the rent of
O
this
si
month.
sigo en la biblioteca, ¿qué trabajo me va a dar de comer?
Or if I steal in the library, what work is going to give me food or money enough to buy it?
Pero seguimos resistiendo.
But we're still in the resistance.
Se lo debemos a Colombia, me digo para reanimarme.
We own it to Colombia, I repeat to myself.
También he visto la biblioteca llenarse cada día con más libros.
I also seen how the library gets full with more books.
Aunque eso hace más difícil recogerlos y llevarlos todos los días al lugar hasta donde nos dejan guardarlos.
However, it's getting difficult to pick them and take them every day to the place where we can store them in the nights.
Sobre todo cuando debemos hacerlo rápido porque abajo están disparando.
Even more when we have to do it faster because pretty close to us, police is shooting.
Aunque la primera línea los detiene tanto como puede.
So the first line holds them as much as they can.
La mayoría de los de la primera línea vienen de los barrios más olvidados de Cali.
Most of the persons who are part of the first line, they come from Agua Blanca and Siloé.
Alguna vez escuché a uno decir que ha comido mejor en el paro que en cualquier otra época de su vida.
Once I heard one of them saying that he has more and better food during the strike than in any other moment of his life.
Aunque la élite de la ciudad no piensa lo mismo.
But the city
Elite
elite
don't
think the same.
Salen en camionetas blancas, vestidos de blanco, a disparar.
They come from their white cars, wearing white clothes to shoot the ones they call vandals.
Or bad people. Porque claro, en paro ellos no pueden disfrutar de sus privilegios.
Because of course, during the strike, they can't enjoy their privileges.
Privilegios que consiguieron con sangre.
Privileges that they achieve with blood.
Sin embargo, los contextos en los que crecieron las personas de primera línea arrastran sus dificultades.
However, the context in where people from the first line grow have many difficulties.
En los puntos de resistencia aparecen problemas de consumo de drogas.
In many of the points of resistance, there are many people who is using drugs.
Fuerza desmedida o violencia.
Using violence.
Y para ser sincera, a este punto se ha vuelto muy difícil saber cuáles son las causas precisas de la violencia.
And to be honest, at this moment, it's very, very difficult to say what or which are the causes of violence.
Entonces, ¿en qué punto estamos? Se preguntarán.
So where we are right now,
Estamos en un punto histórico.
we are in an historical moment.
El 8 de mayo, Human Rights International publicó cifras aterradoras.
May 8th, Human Rights International show many numbers that are scary.
1.330 heridos.
More than 100 people injured.
105 que continúan desaparecidos.
I'm sorry, before was more than 1,000. I say 1,000 or I said what number is it?
You say
So-
100, but yeah, more than 1,000 people get hurt. More than 100 still disappeared, and 75 people was dead. If I'm counting right, because I don't have the correct counting right now. El paro del 28 ha logrado recoger las voces de todos.
But 28th strike has recovered everyone's voices.
Desde los estudiantes hasta los trabajadores.
Voices from students to workers to indigenous communities.
Los taxistas, los médicos,
The cab drivers, the doctors,
y las personas que nunca han ido a un doctor.
and the people who doesn't have the chance to go to the hospital or have medical attention.
Todos ellos llevan más de un mes en las calles,
Everybody has more than a month into the streets,
resistiendo precios elevadísimos de la comida.
No sé cómo decir el
like facing really high prices for food.
Horarios de trabajo que muchos consideran inhumanos.
work times that many people will consider not dignity with no dignity.
¿Cómo resisten tanto? Se preguntarán.
How did they resist so long? Will you ask?
Ellos llevan toda una vida resistiendo.
They've been their entire lives resisting.
Resiste la madre que alimenta a su familia con $4 por semana.
The mother who feeds her family with $4 per week.
Resist. Y resiste el estudiante que camina 3 kilómetros todos los días hasta su escuela.
And the student who has to walk more than 3, who has to walk a long journey to get into the school.
Resist. And resist el campesino.
And resist the farmers.
Al que el gobierno dañó sus cultivos con glifosato.
That the government damaged all his crops. I don't remember how to say. All his plants, all their plants with glifosato.
Resisten las familias a las que les robaron sus hijos.
Resist by the families who their childs were stolen.
Resistimos los de Agua Blanca.
We resist in Agua Blanca.
Resistimos los caleños.
We resist as caleños.
Resistimos los colombianos.
We as Colombians resist.
Resistimos todas y todos.
Every one of us resists.
Hasta que nos escuchen o nos desaparezcan.
Till they hear us or disappear us.
Por nuestros muertos, ni un
For-
minuto de silencio.
For our dads, not a minute of silence,
Toda una vida de combate.
but an entire life of fighting. Thank you, Enya.
Thank you
Thank
so much, Enya.
Mara, I want to ask if there is possible to maybe John Haido can make his speak intervention and then to read the manifesto. Harold and me, we are okay if we maybe send you later what we prepared. But for me, it's important that John Haido and Jaime have the time to make their presentation.
Yes, of course. It's just important to keep in mind that we have the group for the performance standing outside, and they're standing in the wet grass. So
Okay.
yeah, that we can find a way for the translation, or does John need a translation so that we discussed before how to translate?
Okay, yeah. So we can make the two interventions in Spanish and then look how to translate so everybody can understand it. Sigues, puedes seguir, John Jairo.
Okay. Hi, everyone. Thank you for letting us express our pain, express our feelings and thoughts. Besides this strike in Colombia, I'm gonna speak in English. I'm gonna try to do it in English because I think I'm gonna be short. I don't feel really comfortable speaking English because my English is not so well, but I'll try to make it. So I'm in a small town in the center of Colombia. It's called Quimbaya. This town has taken its name from an indigenous culture, indigenous people who lived here before the European colonization of America. So we are inheritants of that tradition. Please let me know if you're understanding. If there is, I apologize if I make some mistakes while I'm talking. And okay, we started the strike here. This was, you maybe know, a national strike called by the National Comité del Paro Nacional. And here in this small town, we are like only 40,000 people here. We went to the streets, we took the streets that day to express our inconformity, to express ourselves against the government. We are almost in a dictatorship right now in Colombia. Streets are militarized, police has been violent and very aggressive to people. Even though here in many small towns in Colombia, we haven't lived those level of violence that Enya described and that people in big cities have lived. But here we have built a popular assembly. So that's been like a process in which people from this town have been gathering together to talk, to share our feelings, to share our conflicts, and to dialogue about the situation of the country. All this started like as a strike against a tax reform proposed by the government in the middle of the pandemic, in the middle of increasing rates of poverty and unemployment in Colombia. We live in a really unequal society. Colombia is one of the most unequitative countries in the world. So we live very difficult situations, and this strike has been the opportunity for many different people to express and to manifest against those politics of death, those situations that don't allow us to live in a peaceful country. We've lived an internal conflict, a civil war for almost 50 years. So this has been an opportunity to meet us, to meet ourselves, and to imagine another ways of life for the people in Colombia. I consider I'm a privileged guy. I could go to the university. I could study. I have had some jobs, which is really a privilege here in Colombia. That could sound ridiculous, but it is there is that way here. So I'm in the strike because I think there are people who is really worse than me, who live very hard life, as Enya described before me. That's been a resistance from arts, from culture. I'm a cultural agent. I work for a cultural foundation here. I do projects with different communities of young people and farmers and other populations here in the coastal zone of Colombia, which is one of the more this is one of the most violent places in Colombia, but that violence is invisible because this hasn't been a place where massacres occurred or those events of violence that had occurred in other places of Colombia. So I'm gonna speak a little in Spanish because I think I can express better in Spanish, but I hope I have expressed the core of what I wanted to say, and I don't know if after I speak for a while in Spanish, someone could translate maybe those ideas. Bueno, estaba contándoles que estoy en un pequeño municipio, en un pequeño pueblo de Colombia, en la zona cafetera. Carolina, no sé si al final de pronto o si vas a ir traduciendo un poco como lo que yo diga.
Si quieres, tomo algunas de las ideas, voy apuntándoles y luego hago como un resumen de lo que estás mencionando. ¿Te parece?
Ok. Donde también inició el paro, como en muchos otros pequeños municipios de Colombia, de lo que ha sido realmente un levantamiento social que empieza como una protesta con la excusa de una reforma fiscal, de una reforma tributaria, pero donde realmente la sociedad encuentra una posibilidad de rebelarse contra un Estado opresor y de tramitar una serie de acumulados históricos, ¿no? De acumular una serie de problemas que se han venido gestando en Colombia por décadas y que terminan en el estallido social que estamos viviendo hoy, al que el Estado responde con represión, con violencia, con militarización, y dándole un tratamiento de guerra a protestas que, según organizaciones de derechos humanos en todo el mundo, han sido pacíficas en su gran mayoría, han sido simplemente manifestaciones incluso espontáneas del pueblo, exigiendo mejores condiciones de vida, exigiendo derechos básicos a los que no hemos tenido acceso en Colombia, y ha sido como la oportunidad de encontrarnos y de manifestar esas situaciones que hemos venido viviendo. Entonces, en el caso de Quimbaya, pues a partir del 28, un grupo de personas decidimos declararnos en asamblea permanente y empezamos a organizar ejercicios y actividades de movilización y de manifestaciones de la protesta social en un lugar donde no había, digamos, una tradición muy fuerte de participación política y donde hemos venido tratando de construir un movimiento social amplio, diverso, donde están representadas las mujeres, los trabajadores, los estudiantes, la gente desempleada, artistas, gestores culturales, mujeres cabeza de hogar, amas de casa, barristas del América, del Nacional, y bueno, y en su mayoría muchos jóvenes que no hemos encontrado como suficientes oportunidades en Colombia. Y afortunadamente llevamos un mes de movilizaciones sostenidas de manera pacífica, en un lugar donde afortunadamente pues no hemos sido víctimas de la violencia del Estado, pero desde donde obviamente nos hemos solidarizado y hemos levantado nuestras voces de protesta para denunciar lo que está sucediendo en Colombia, para denunciar la masacre de decenas de jóvenes, de decenas de personas que han muerto en manos de la violencia militar y paramilitar en estos 30 días de paro en Colombia. Entonces, creo que también ha sido un espacio para la solidaridad. Creo que hemos recibido muchas manifestaciones de apoyo, pese a que el gobierno ha buscado poner al pueblo contra el pueblo, ponernos unos contra otros, y digamos que desarticular de esa manera la movilización que se ha venido dando en Colombia. Y digamos que aquí también nos hemos dado cuenta de la cantidad de talento que hay, de la creatividad y el ingenio de muchas personas, especialmente de muchos jóvenes que no han tenido la oportunidad de desarrollarse y de aportar desde sus talentos al desarrollo de sus comunidades. También aquí ha sucedido algo que mencionaba Enia y que para mí ha sido muy doloroso, y es que hay gente que está en el paro por hambre, por física hambre, ¿sí? Por rabia, por indignación, y hay pelados con los que he tenido la oportunidad de hablar que principalmente lo que los convoca en el paro es la olla comunitaria, que ha sido una de las cosas más significativas del encuentro y del paro, y es sacar la olla a la calle, comer todos de la misma olla y compartir pues el pan, compartir los alimentos, y que muchos nos digan como no, pues ojalá que el paro no se acabe porque en los días de paro he podido comer mejor de lo que comía en mi casa, o que muchos digan que ojalá que el paro se mantenga porque ha sido como la posibilidad de encontrar amigos, de encontrar gente que los escucha, que los acoge, que dialoga. Digamos que me ha dado como la certeza de que este es un paro en el que nos estamos imaginando otras formas de vivir, otras formas de ser sociedad, ¿sí? De construir comunidad, y el paro ha sido un espacio para reinventarnos la vida también. Entonces creo que en ese sentido estamos en un punto de quiebre, Hemos vivido un movimiento histórico en Colombia como no se veía desde probablemente los años 70 y aún así pues creo que es un movimiento sin precedentes, que a un gobierno se le haga un paro de un mes y que sea tan intransigente y tan arbitrario en su manera de responder, no con apertura al diálogo, sino todo lo contrario, pues sacando el ejército a las calles y dando la orden de asesinar a manifestantes pacíficos en muchas ciudades del país. Entonces, pues eso era un poco, no quiero extenderme mucho más, y yo pues I didn't wrote anything. Lately, I haven't been able to express very well or to write things, even though I try to and I try to write because that's one of my ways to express myself and to communicate my ideas and to share some thoughts and feelings with other people. Those have been hard days. I've been overwhelmed. I haven't slept well for weeks. I'm diagnosed with depression, and I'm always been like very stressed these days. So I hope this strike will bring real changes for the people in Colombia. I think this is the possibility to imagine and to build new ways of life, different forms of communitarian organization, and if it's true. I've been really sad for the violence the government has exercised over people. I'm also hopeful. I'm also grateful for the things that has been happening here in Colombia this last month. I think this is a change. I think we are not the same society, even though many people have been so indifferent. I don't know how some people is comfortable. Yeah, many people are comfortable at their homes watching the news. The media has reported just fake news about the social protest, about the strikers here in Colombia. They say we are vandals, we are terrorists, and that's the way we've been treated, just for being claiming for better conditions of life, for reclaim our rights for education, for healthcare, and just basic rights here in Colombia. Here in Quimbaya, we've been also threatened by the police. We've been intimidated. This is a small town, but the army is in the streets, so we don't have the warranty to protest, but we are not afraid. I think we will defend this right to strike, this right to protest against a government which is polluted with the blood of the people. So thanks for sharing this space, for listening to us, and I hope you too help us to spread this things that are happening in Colombia to the rest of the world.
Thank you, John Jairo. And I think that we are going to proceed with reading our manifesto. Jaime is going to read that manifesto, and then we are going to plant our plants and our seeds that we bring today to express the need of take care and the need of care about life. So, Jaime, si quieres, puedes seguir con la lectura.
Gracias, Carolina. Hello, everyone. I want to share the text that was born in the middle of the process, and after to a visit to the Páramo of Sumapaz, near to Usme. First, I read the text in English, and then Mara will read it in English, please. Ella, aunque está fijada a la raíz, se vuelve de acuerdo con su sol, y aún transformada conserva su amor. Ovidio, Las Metamorfosis. Ser semilla que se dispersa por el viento, observar desde lo alto de los cuerpos, los desechos, los escombros. Viajamos a través de nuestros pensamientos. Llevamos mensajes de resistencia y esperanza para no caer en la locura, para no sucumbir al terror. Hemos visto el fuego, la violencia, hemos visto la muerte. Jóvenes que caen, que ríen y que gritan, que se agitan mecidos por el viento, que se enredan juntos. Nuestras vidas expuestas en una pantalla, imágenes editadas que nos muestran como el problema y no como el resultado. Mensajes de texto, llamadas de auxilio y peticiones de contención. Montones de cuerpos que se deshacen en la tierra húmeda, que son arrastrados por el río, arrojados, sembrados en el olvido. Las plantas nos dan una lección de resistencia, de reexistencia, nos animan a ser. Diente de león, ser flexibles, alternar entre las hojas dentadas y la flor que vence la aparente inmovilidad. Crecer en la periferia, en los márgenes de la ciudad y la indiferencia. Ser invisible y despreciado. Levantarse luego del paso de la bota que agresiva aplasta nuestro cuerpo, el cuerpo de todos y todas. Atesorar semillas capaces de viajar, de alzar el vuelo. Ser frailejón. Aprender la lección de la quietud y de la espera. Ser suave, aterciopelado. Crecer poco a poco, vaciándose, permitiendo que el agua pase a través del cuerpo para alimentar la tierra. Ser testigo del silencio y aprender de este. Años que pasan. Es otra escala de tiempo en la que apenas somos un momento. El páramo, antes glaciar, nos da lecciones contundentes. Somos despreciados como la maleza, pero somos testigos, voces que se esparcen por la red, dando cuenta de la esperanza y las apuestas por una vida mejor, por un mundo delicado y afectivo. Somos semilla y fruto, sujetos a una vida individual y colectiva, expuesta a la fractura, pero también a la unión. Intentamos echar mano de saberes que siempre nos han acompañado. Suelda con suelda para unir lo roto, caléndula para la inflamación, hierbabuena y valeriana para recuperar el sueño, para disminuir la angustia. Saberes femeninos que vienen de otro tiempo y cuestionan una masculinidad malentendida y beligerante, trampa del héroe y el sacrificio que tanto le ha costado a nuestro país, que tanto le cuesta al mundo. Hacemos un llamado ante la indiferencia y el cinismo de nuestros gobernantes. Recuerden que somos el sembrado construido, ni mejores ni peores. Desde Usme, desde el silencio del páramo y en solidaridad con nuestros hermanos muertos, les pedimos ser semilla y mensaje que se esparce por el viento. Usme, Bogotá, Colombia, 29 de mayo de 2021. Thank you.
So I will now read it in English.
Thank you, Mara.
Thank you so much, Jaime. She, although attached to the root, turns according with her sun, and still transformed, maintains her love. Ovidio, Las Metamorphoses. To be a seed that is dispersed by the wind, to observe the bodies from high above, the debris, the waste. We travel through our thoughts. We carry messages of resistance and hope not to become insane, to not give into terror. We have seen the fire, the violence. We have seen death. Youth that fall, that laugh and yell, that shake rocked by the wind, woven together. Our lives exposed on a screen, edited images that present us as the problem, not as the result. Text messages, emergency calls asking for help, and containment requests. Piles of bodies dissolving on the damp ground, carried by the river, thrown away, planted in oblivion. Plants give us a lesson of resistance, of re-existence. They animate us to be. Dandelion, to be flexible, to alternate within the serrated leaves and the flower that defeats the apparent immobility, to grow in the periphery, in the city margins, and amidst indifference, to be invisible and despised, to get up after the aggressive boot has crushed our body, everyone's body, to treasure seeds able to travel, arise, and fly away. Verleidjon. Learn the lesson of stillness and of waiting, being soft, wealthy, growing slowly, emptying, allowing the water to go through the body, to nourish the earth, to be a witness of silence and learn from it. Years that go by. Another scale for time in which we are just
It makes sense to hastily move anywhere. I mean, it's easy to think, oh, everyone's leaving, I'm going to leave too, but I need to have my own time, I guess, when I feel it.
sorry. Okay. Verleidjon. Learn the lesson of stillness and of waiting, being soft, wealthy, growing slowly, emptying, allowing the water to go through the body, to nourish the earth, to be a witness of silence and learn from it. Years that go by. Another scale for time in which we are just a blink. The moorland before a glacier gives us overwhelming proof. We are scorned like the weeds, but we are witnesses. Voices that spread throughout the networks, showing hope and betting for a better life, for a delicate and affectionate world. We are seed and fruit, subject to an individual and collective life, exposed to being fractured, but also to be united. We try to draw upon the wisdom that has always accompanied us. Suelda con suelda, to unite what is broken. Calendula for inflammation. Redeba buena, spearmint, and valerian, to be able to sleep, to calm distress. Woman's knowledge that comes from other times and that questions a misunderstood and belligerent masculinity, trap of the hero and the sacrifice that has been so costly for our country and for the world. We make a wake-up call to all the indifference and the cynicism of our governors. Remember, we are a sown field, not better, not worse. From Usme, from the silence of the moor, in solidarity with our dead brothers and sisters, we ask you to be seeds and messages to be spread by the wind. Usme, Bogota, Colombia, May 29th, 2021. Thank you so much for this strong wow, very, very strong and beautiful manifesto. And it's a very good moment to now start with the planting ritual, because as I see, Carolina is already prepared and ready, and also the others, the group of the MFA students in Weimar. We started a little collaboration thanks to Linda, who was making this possible. And now we meet a group that is consisting of MFA students, of public art students, as well as a group of protesters, Colombian students that have already begun 1 month ago to make visible in this city of Weimar in Germany what is going on in Colombia, and to create awareness. And before that, I just want to tell you what will go on. Carolina, Jaime, and Harold will plant into soil in pots the names of the victims of the dead protesters, the killed protesters in the last month. They will put them into soil, and as an answer to that, connected in thought and spirituality, the students from Weimar will answer with planting plants of resistance to a ground, which is quite special. I show you the space. One moment. Oh. The space is called Paradise, and it was a former landfill from the German Democratic Republic, and it used to look like this before. So in the center you see it, and then it was it was contaminant, and it was a spot that really gave an impact to the city, obviously, because many species and animals and plants were getting away. They were like leaving the city and leaving the space, and also the climatic condition was threatened. So they had to do something and renature it and turn it into an untouched space. And now it is somehow has turned after 30 years into a kind of habitat where also the endangered species were able to come back. And as you see, we have here, we were together there today, and we're checking the spot, and there are some plants that also Jaime was mentioning right now. Of course, not all plants are growing there because obviously in Colombia, different plants are growing, but some are also growing there, and they are those plants of resistance. They just came there, and funnily, they are also good for our health. So we can use them all also to heal ourselves. And today in this performance, we want to contribute with a flower that's called Sangui Sorba. You see it in the middle. And the group will plant them into ground because they are good for healing inner as well as outer wounds. And this is a kind of reaction to connect what is happening in Colombia in a symbolic way, and to answer to the performance of Carolina, Harold, and Jaime right now. So, and we invite you as well during the performance, all of you who are spread all over the spaces, to also plant your own plant. So we hope you have prepared a plant or a seed, a pot, some soil and water to also put your plant into the ground. And it would be nice if you could make a picture of that and send it to us, or a video even, because we would like to create more awareness of what has been done today about the problematic and the topic. And so it would be beautiful if you could contribute in any way or spread it as a symbol of care and yeah, solidarity. So it would be nice now to invite you all to this meditation. It's a meditation, and you can either watch or you can take part. So that's everything, I guess. And at the end, when we're finished the ritual together, you can also, it would be nice also to give the voice then to Carolina, Harold, and Jaime, because they also can, so that they can also talk. So I hope, yeah, it's clear, and I wish you a beautiful experience. And also, I would like to, if it's possible, we would like to see the performances, the 2 performances now, and but also yours, of course. So, okay, you have all plants with you. Amazing. While you are doing, we are all planting. Carolina will name the names of the
I'm going to say the names. I'm going to plant. So I'm going to start with our sadly long list. Miguel Ángel Pinto Molina. María Jovita Osorio. Marcelo Agredo Inchimá. Paul Steven Sevillano Perea. Nicolás Guerrero. Jorleifer Herrera. Joan Ricardo Hidrobo. Charlie Parra. Rosenberg Douglas. Cristian Alexis Moncayo Machado. Einer Alexander Lazo. Brian Gabriel Rojas. Harold Antonio Rodríguez. Jesús Flores. José Emilson Ambuila. Edwin Villa Escobar. Cristian David Orozco. Camilo Andrés Arango García. Santiago Andrés Murillo. José Augusto Ortiz Cortés. Vladimir Steven. Dylan Fabriani Barbosa. Sebastián Quintero. Jorge Iván Cañas. Dadimir Daza Correa. Julián Vallejo. Juan Camilo Vargas. Michael Joan Vargas López. Kevin Jair González. Héctor Morales. Ginson Andrés Angulo. Juan Guillermo Brown. Santiago Moreno. Jefferson Alexis Marín. José Mauricio Velasco. Daniel Alejandro Zapata. John Eric Larraón. Jonathan Arlex Quiñones. John Alexander Yotengo. Kevin Anthony Agudelo.
Angie Joana Valencia, Michael David Reyes, Luis Hernán Ladino, Breiner Chut Arango, Wenceslao Solís, Javier Uribe, Elvis Vivas, Jason García, Brian Niño, Andrés Angulo, Lucas Villa, y por aquellos de los que todavía no sabemos sus nombres.
So I think the most of you have finished the ritual, right? So now it would be beautiful to give the word back to Carolina and Jaime and Harold.
Thank you, Mara, and thank you to all of you for being here today. And I think that we can maybe let Harold to speak about how we've been into in Usme. So I'm going to give the word to him, and then I think David can be next.
Carolina, David se fue, se desconectó. Yo creo que Harold.
Okay. Yes. So Harold, he doesn't speak English, so he's going to speak in Spanish. And that way, I think that you by now may have an idea of what is happening, not just in Cali and in Bogota and in Quimbaya, but in all over our country. So, Harold, si quieres puedes hablar. Dije que ibas a hablar en español. No hay problema.
Dale. Primero, agradecer a todos y a todas por el espacio, por brindarnos su palabra, por brindarnos su afecto, su cariño, su solidaridad. Y pedirle permiso a los territorios que hoy nos permiten unirnos, que nos permiten unir sentimientos y sentires para poder compartir esta palabra de sanación, esta palabra de siembra y esta siembra que nos permite hilar desde la fraternidad y desde el amor y la humanidad.
Si quieres, well, Harold he just said thank you to everybody. He want to ask for permission to every territory, every place that is represented by you today, and give all his love and all his regards to each of you, and to thank for your solidarity and for your love and everything that it's possible today by doing this performance, this ritual of planting. ¿Quieres como contar un poco lo que, pues, cómo ha estado todo el tema acá en Usme?
Sí, yo traté de escribir algunas cosas con todo el cariño para todos. Lo leo corto y tú me ayudas a traducir, Caro.
Sí, dale, sí.
Dale, no soy ni somos la voz de quienes han resistido y nos han dado un ejemplo de perseverancia y de dignidad.
I'm not the voice of every person who has given us the example of perseverance and dignity.
Pero también sentimos la indignación, la frustración, la rabia y no podemos quedarnos callados. Por eso decidimos desde otras formas manifestarnos.
But we are also feeling all the rage, all the pain about all this situation. So that's why we decide to manifest our feelings. Si puedes un poquito más cortitas, porque
Dale. Quizás esas secuelas de la guerra que nos impusieron durante años.
Maybe are all of these scars and memories that remain from the war.
Y que la firma de un papel pareciera no irse del todo.
And that even the fact that there was an peace agreement, we still live in that war.
El Estado en su lenguaje, su práctica y sus formas de gobernar
State in its language, practices, and ways of government
han intentado imponer un nuevo modelo de guerra,
they have tried to impose a new war model.
como si fuera poco acabar con nuestra naturaleza, acabar con nuestro campo y violentar hombres y mujeres.
Like it was little to kill our people and to deforest our fields and our natural places.
Campesinos, indígenas, afrodescendientes,
Farmers, indigenous and Black communities,
jóvenes y niños,
youngs and childs,
muchos más quieren infundir terror e intentar generar nuevas formas de guerra en las ciudades.
they want to make us feel fear in all over the places.
Por eso en Usme, un territorio ancestral de la periferia de Bogotá,
That's why in Usme, a borderline territory in Bogota,
donde han querido enterrar la basura, la historia, cambiar la tierra de comida por cemento,
Just to say ancestral land, it's important to say ancestral land.
yeah, an ancestor land where they wanted to bury their waste and turn all the
Van a seguir ahí por harto tiempo.
sumergirnos en un mar de olvido por el Estado y sus políticas de desigualdad continua.
where they wanted to turn our place into a big city full with blocks and give me a second.
Nuestros niños, jóvenes, han crecido en medio de estas dinámicas de miedo.
And concrete. Our kids, our childs, they are growing into all of this.
Y por ello piden a gritos cambios que permitan reconstruir esa nueva historia.
And that's why they are asking for changes that allows us to make everything different.
Por ellos y ellas, quienes nos dan una semilla de esperanza, debemos buscar las formas de cambio.
For them, we must look for every single way to change.
Y transformación estructural desde los territorios y con los territorios.
And to change our territories, but with us.
Y con muchas de las voces que están allí.
And with many of the voices that are present into these places.
En medio de esto, Usme no quiere más violencia.
Amidst of everything, Usme don't want more violence.
Usme no quiere más olvido.
Usme don't want more oblivion.
No quiere más muertos.
doesn't want more dead people.
Y no quiere más politiquería y jugar con los sueños que se han construido a pulso.
And doesn't want to play with, and doesn't want to have people who want to play with our dreams and our projects.
El instinto de sobrevivencia y el bienestar por todos y todas nos ha conllevado a ser más fuertes.
Our survival gods has led us to make us stronger and resistant.
El 26 de mayo de 2021,
May 26th, last May 26th,
fueron 12 horas de resistencia de los jóvenes,
we live 12 hours of resistance from the young people.
que en el transcurrir del día llegaban los enfrentamientos con la policía.
Who support or resist all of the violence, police violence.
Enfrentamientos que dejaron en un día
Fights that live in one day
o entre 80 y 70 heridos,
more than 80 injured people,
más que los que dejó el portal de la resistencia en 30 días.
more than the people who were injured in another place in Bogota called Portal de la Resistencia.
Se parecía a un campo de guerra.
It looked like a war field.
Esta vez no era como cuando mostraban en la televisión otros lugares.
This time wasn't like it was displayed in TV news.
Era en Usme, era en el Puente de la Dignidad.
Was just right here in our Dignity Bridge, Puente de la Dignidad.
Y era en la Y, en la Avenida Nacional.
And it was in our streets, in our roads.
En el cual se concentraban los enfrentamientos y los actos de resistencia.
Where the people was fighting for their rights.
Eran ataques muy fuertes, directos y sin ningún tipo de humanidad.
It was a violent moment. The attack was pretty strong.
Y en medio de estos enfrentamientos, el equipo de derechos humanos
And in all of that, the human rights team
intentaba mediar y buscar alguna salida pacífica de estos enfrentamientos.
was trying to find a pacific way to finish all of these.
Pese a resistir un par de horas, 2 horas, los enfrentamientos persistían.
The confrontation keeps the entire day, lasts the entire day.
Y la policía y el SMAT no querían diálogo, sino enfrentamiento.
But the police didn't want to speak or to calm down. They want to fight. They want confrontation.
Con el temor de no saber qué pasaba con los chicos que estaban retenidos.
With fear, because we didn't know what were happening to the boys and girls and young people that had been arrested.
Se intentó negociar, se intentó buscar el diálogo, pero no pudimos saber nada de los chicos retenidos.
We as human rights team try to look for every possible way to speak, but it wasn't possible.
Es así que decidimos mantener el anillo humanitario un par de minutos más.
So we keep covering some of the protesters.
Y llega un golpe en mi cabeza.
But I was hit in my head.
Que tal vez por unos momentos me hizo perder un poco la conciencia.
And I lost my conscience for a while.
Pero que no me quitaba el instinto de sobrevivencia y bienestar.
But I tried to maintain awake and alert to all of this.
Que me brindaron jóvenes, muy jóvenes, y que fueron quienes me prestaron los primeros auxilios y me sacaron del lugar, de ese lugar.
And they were young people, the ones who helped me to get out from this place and to be safe.
Y que eso avivaba en mí un poco ese espíritu de resistencia que ellos tenían para poder brindarles algo de apoyo y seguridad en su acto de resistencia.
And that keep alive a fire inside of me, a fire of resistance, a fire of solidarity.
Y esa resistencia, la que ellos nos han impregnado,
And that resistance, the one that they gave us,
nos brindan la dignidad que quizás el miedo a alzarla
allows us to live with dignity.
ellos la revivieron.
They keep that fire of resistance, and they help me to maintain that very same flame.
Y es un momento oportuno y pertinente
And it is the moment for
para compartir y unir los tejidos de fraternidad en esta lucha digna de nuestros jóvenes.
and it is a moment to act with solidarity and with fraternity, so solidarity. ¿Me puedes repetir la última parte otra vez? Perdón.
Como la lucha de nuestros, como sumarnos a esa lucha de nuestros jóvenes.
And it's time to join to this fight of our young people.
Agradecemos a todos y a todas
We really, really appreciate and give thank you to all of you
por permitirnos también equilibrar nuestras emociones y nuestros sentimientos patrios en este momento.
to let us feel what we or express what we feel and to hay una parte que no sé cómo traducir muy bien pero
Como el cariño patrio, como el cariño de país.
Patriotism. Patriotismo. Patriotism.
Identidad, no sé.
Patriotism.
¿Me repites un poco cómo era la última frase, por favor?
Como agradecer por permitirnos como hablar con ellos por este sentimiento que hay de instinto patrio.
And for allows us to talk to all of you and balance all these feelings that we have right now for our territory, for our country.
Gracias a todos y a todas y un fraternal abrazo.
A warm hug for all of you, and thank you once again.
Thank you for sharing all your deep and like your profound experiences and feelings and beings with us today. And I hope so much that we could reach many people also on this online stream, because we just saw those who were with us in the meeting. And I hope that you are somehow happy that, or yeah, but we talk about that later, because now we all need to think a bit, and there were so many strong pictures arising also during the speeches or the voices we heard, and yeah, it was very strong. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
From Elaine.
We will let you many of our write a speech and manifesto, so we know that we have some issues by all of this thing of communicating. We don't speak the same language, but we will try to send you all of these so you can have it, and I know many people can help us to translate it and to reach many people as we can, so everybody could be able to know what we are living here in Colombia.
Yeah. Julie has written something.
Yes.
Or Julie, do you want to speak? No.
Jaime, if you want to say anything, ¿quieres decir algo? Sí, sí.
No. Thank you. And no más. No more.
I think that's it for us.
Oak tree.
So then we invite you also, if you have the plans or any texts, all of you you can send us, that we can publish it also on our Nomadic Seeds page, and yeah, also wherever we can. So yeah, that was a strong meeting, and I hope also to see you maybe also next time again. And yeah, and if we can support you in any way, please let us know. Okay.
Okay, thank you again.
Okay, then maybe we